Hello, my name's Andrew. I'm a music producer and a long-term anxiety sufferer. Each week I'm going to be uploading a video to this channel, Anxious Andrew, talking about all things to do with anxiety. Today I'm asking the question, can running cure my anxiety? Could running cure your anxiety? Spoiler alert, no way Jose, running's never going to cure your anxiety. You could Forrest Gump it all the way across America, you're still going to feel anxious. You'll just have really sore legs and a massive beard. But don't click away just yet, because running is really good for easing your anxiety, for reducing your anxiety, both in the short term and the long term. Running helps to relieve your stress, boost your mood, it helps with your sleep, it helps with your appetite, and it makes you fit. So if all this sounds interesting to you, please subscribe to my channel and stick around for the video. I first got into running through this social media campaign that was going around, where you'd run 5 kilometers and then nominate 5 of your friends, who would then have to run their own 5 kilometers, and then they'd nominate 5 of their friends and so on. So I was nominated for this challenge, and at first I just ignored it. I thought, that's not for me, there's no way I'm going to be able to do it. I was too scared. It taps into a kind of specific anxiety for me, where I have this like perimeter around my house where I feel kind of okay, quite safe, and then if I go beyond that perimeter, I start to get panicky. So I just had these visions that I'd be on this run, halfway around this run, I would have some horrible, awful panic attack, and it would just be a total catastrophe. But I sort of felt like I should at least give it a go. I wouldn't have to upload my results if I did badly or if I failed. I'd just pretend it had never happened. And I do have some sort of base level of fitness, because I'm quite regular at the gym. I lift weights and I swim, and I used to play tennis, so I sort of felt like I was fit enough to do it. So on one day when I woke up feeling particularly fresh, I thought, yeah, okay, I'll give it a go today. I went out and I did really well. I managed to do the whole 5 kilometer route without stopping. I ran the whole thing, and when I got back I felt great, felt really good about myself, and like I'd accomplished something, and I proudly uploaded my results online to sort of show off. I definitely wasn't hooked then, though. That 5 kilometer run sort of was really scary and tiring and shattering, and I didn't enjoy actually being on the run. But over the next few weeks, I pushed myself to go on a few more runs, shorter distances, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, something like that to begin with. And for a good sort of 6 or 8 weeks, I didn't even enjoy those. But I kept going, and eventually, after a couple of months, I definitely caught the bug. Getting into running is really, really easy. You don't need anything to begin with. As long as you've got some sort of sports kit, and any kind of trainers are going to be fine, just to do a short run. If you do find that you really do get into it and you are going further distances and you're on the road for a long time, at some point you're going to have to buy some proper running shoes. And they're quite expensive. They're going to set you back maybe £120, £150, something like that. But other than that, you don't need any sort of specific gear. There's a really useful website called onthegomap.com. I'll put a link to it down below. This is great for planning out your run. So for your first run, if you just create a 1 kilometer loop sort of close to your house, or even if it's just marking 500 meters down the road, turning around and coming back 500 meters, you've got yourself a 1 kilometer run. So to begin with, just pick out a short route and then give it a go, see how you get on. Even if you have to walk and run, that doesn't matter to begin with. Just, if you're running for 100 meters, then walking for 100 meters, run the next 100 meters, walk the next 100 meters, that's fine. Just keep building up until you can run that 1 kilometer without stopping. Just start slowly. Start as slowly as you can go. My biggest mistake was going way too fast. I got it in my head that I was running, so I need to be running and I need to look a certain way. I was very worried about what people would think of me. Did I look stupid? Did I look out of breath? Did I look like I didn't know what I was doing? I was very self-conscious. But if you can just find some sort of pace that's not a walk but not a run, if you can just break from that walking pace into a sort of jog, you're going to find that you're going to be able to maintain that pace for a lot longer than if you simply run down the road, where you're just going to feel shattered almost immediately. There's also an app called Strava, which is good. It's sort of like social media for runners. So it's going to log all of your runs. It'll tell you how far you've gone, how fast you were going, your splits, so how fast each kilometre that you did was, and you upload your runs to this and you can look at your friends' runs and share your runs. So that's quite a nice sort of community to get involved with. I get so much out of running. I find it a really good stress reliever, an anxiety reliever. I know that if I'm having a bad day, if I can just get out the door and go for a run, then 5 or 10 minutes into that run, I'm going to start to feel a lot better. I kind of get into like a meditative state when I'm running, and I almost have a mindfulness approach to running. All I'm doing when I'm running is counting my breath. I don't listen to music, I don't listen to a podcast or anything. I just focus on moving forwards and counting my steps, breathing in for 4 steps, breathing out for 4 steps, breathing in for 4 steps, and breathing out for 4 steps. And that helps to really focus my mind. And when I'm in that state, I can't really be thinking about much else. So whatever thoughts were bothering me tend to just wash over me and are no longer sticking in my head and stressing me out. Sometimes you might find yourself experiencing a runner's high, which is really nice. It doesn't happen to me very often, but when it does happen, it makes you feel like Superman. It makes you feel like you could run forever. It tends to happen to me on a longer run. I'll just suddenly get into this sort of flow state where I'm going and it feels relatively easy, and I just feel like I could conquer anything. No matter how difficult the run might be during the run, at the end you're always going to feel a great sense of accomplishment and achievement. So it's always worth, before you head out the door, if you're feeling quite down on yourself, it's always worth remembering how you felt at the end of your last run and how good you might feel once you finish this run. Running gives me a really good routine. I find that I respond really well to routine. So I have kind of specific runs that I'll do on specific days of the week. So if I wake up and I'm not really feeling up to a run on that day, I kind of feel like, well, it's part of my routine. I must fulfill the routine. And that helps give me like an extra nudge to get out the door. It's also a good way for me to kind of engage with the world, because when I'm anxious, my natural inclination is to withdraw and sort of hide away. Whereas running pushes me out of the door into nature, into the fresh air. And although I'm not interacting with other humans or necessarily interacting with society, I am at least engaging with the world, and that's can only be a positive thing and can only help to pull me out of sort of anxiety holes. There are quite a few things that I do worry about, particularly before a run and during a run. I suffer from IBS, so for me the biggest one is needing to go to the toilet whilst I'm on a run. I'll go to the toilet 2 or 3 times before heading out the door for a run, just to make sure that I'm safe and I'm not going to have to go to the toilet in a bush or something like that. But I've been running for over a year now, and so far I've had no accidents, nothing like that has happened to me yet. Another specific kind of phobia for me is being sick. And I feel like going for a run and overexerting myself, pushing too hard, could lead to me being sick. Or if it's a particularly sunny day, I'll worry that I'm going to give myself heat exhaustion, and that's going to lead to me being sick. But I don't really push myself that hard, whilst I'm running. So again, that hasn't actually been a problem at all so far. If you're the sort of person who struggles with feeling dizzy, or if you don't like the sensation of a pounding heart in your chest, it's definitely worth being aware that running is going to give you those sensations temporarily. You obviously, as you exercise, your heart rate will go up, and if you're running quite hard, then you can definitely find that your heart is going to start beating quite hard in your chest. So if you don't like that sensation, it's worth being aware that this could trigger a panic attack for you. But I think it's definitely worth pushing yourself to give it a go, because if you can go for the run, feel your heart rate rise, stop running and feel your heart rate come down, I think that's a really good way of practicing sitting with that sensation and realizing that actually nothing dangerous is happening, nothing abnormal is happening. This is supposed to happen. Your heart rate is supposed to go up, and you're not doing anything risky, and you're not increasing your chances of having a heart attack. It's really good to test your fears, I think, and running can help you do that. Anything that you're predicting might happen at the beginning of the run, all these scary pictures you're painting of catastrophic things that might happen to you whilst you're running, if you can do the run and then see that those didn't happen, those didn't come to fruition, it's a nice way of sort of proving yourself wrong and testing those negative thoughts you're having day to day, and kind of, yeah, the more you can prove them wrong, the less weight they'll hold next time those same kind of fears come into your mind. You can sort of think to yourself, oh, well, you know, the last 10 runs I went on, none of that actually happened, so it's very unlikely to happen to me again this time. No matter how hard you might find it to actually go for your run, and no matter how hard the actual run itself might feel, I can guarantee you that by the end of it, you're going to have a tremendous feeling of accomplishment, and it's going to be a really good win. Like everything in life, running comes with many pitfalls. The biggest one for me is comparing myself to others. I need to practice the mantra over and over again. Comparison is the thief of joy. I think I need to say that to myself over and over again, because there'll often be times where I'll go for a run, I'll be feeling really good on that run, be feeling really good about myself that I've gone a certain distance and I've gone at a certain pace, and I'll upload it to Strava and then have a look at my friends' recent runs and see that they've run further or they've run faster than I have, and suddenly I feel really rubbish about myself and I feel like I'm not doing well enough, and that suddenly takes away all those good feelings that I was feeling post-run. So definitely need to practice that mantra, comparison is the thief of joy. I have a Garmin watch, one of these fancy GPS watches to track my runs, and I can look down at this watch and see my pace at any given time, and often I'll be going and to what I think is a really fast pace. I think I'll be, you know, doing really well. Look down at the watch and realize that actually I'm not doing that well. I'm not running that quickly, and suddenly I'm stung by a feeling of, you know, I'm doing really badly. I'm not running quick enough. So I get bullied by the watch. So if you can just leave the watch at home, you don't actually need to have the watch on you. Or what I've started doing is just pressing start and then going for my run, and just not looking at the watch until the end of the run when I stop the watch, and then I can check all my kind of stats at the end. If you have a history of eating disorders, or you're the sort of person that calorie counts, running could be quite risky for you, because whatever app or whatever tracker you're using is going to tell you how many calories you've burnt on any given run, and this could become very addictive. You could find yourself every day trying to hit a certain amount of calories if you're trying to get yourself into a caloric deficit, and I think this is going to feed your problem. So it might be wise to turn off that function, so you never actually know how many calories you're burning. I think your aim of running should be to keep fit physically, but mostly to keep fit mentally, and just to be healthy. It shouldn't really be used as a tool to burn through calories to try and lose weight. For some reason, your energy is just going to be up and down on different days. Some days you're going to find what should be an easy run is going to feel really difficult, and for no apparent reason. You might have slept well, you might have eaten well, you just really struggle on that run. When you have those kind of bad days, you need to zoom out, not use that bad run as a marker for how well you're doing. If you zoom out and sort of look at your progress over 6 months or a year or something, you'll see that you are still doing well, and actually maybe the win is that you went for the run in the first place. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how you're performing on the run. Just going for the run should be your goal, and you should be able to congratulate yourself just for going on the run. Because running is part of my routine, it has become quite addictive for me, and I find that if I can't go for a run for some reason, I'll feel really down. I'll be worried that I'm going to lose fitness, or that on that particular day the anxiety might overwhelm me because I've not gone for my run to sort of purge it out. But often with life, there's kind of legitimate reasons why you might not be able to go for your run. If you're run down, if you've got a cold, or if you have some other kind of commitment that you've got to do, then you might have to skip a run, and that's obviously okay. So yeah, try not to be too hard on yourself, and try not to be too rigid, holding yourself to account where you've got to constantly run all the time. It is okay to kind of pick it up and drop it if you need to. I have a couple of product recommendations for you. The first one is this. This is a flip belt. These are about £30. It's just good for holding your keys and your phone. So there's a nice big zip up pocket where you can put your phone and keep it secure. There's a little hook here for your keys, which then sort of tucks away. and you can just wrap that around your waist and keep everything secure. I find the pockets you get in sports shorts and sports t-shirts, those little zip pockets, when you put stuff in there, it just rattles around and it's really annoying. Whereas with this flip belt, everything is secure and doesn't bother you. The second thing I'd like to recommend you take a look at is this book, Jog On, by Bella Mackie. Bella Mackie suffers with mental health problems, and this book is about her journey into running. And it wasn't easy for her, you know. She started out, I think, in an alleyway behind her house or something late at night when no one was looking, just going up and down. So it's not the kind of hardcore running up Kilimanjaro inspirational book. It's a bit more relatable. So definitely check that out. If you've made it this far in the video, then thank you very much for watching. I hope I've at least gone some way to convince you to give running a go. If you have any questions for me or suggestions for other videos I could do in the future, then please email anxiousandrewchannel@gmail.com. See you on the next one.